Okay, so
Alright, what's next?
this next question, it's very similar to the last question that was just asked. Do you get jealous when your other half is with someone else? If so, how do you handle it?
And when they ask that question, they do mean sexual.
This is
about sex.
Yes, this question it's more of a sexual question.
Okay.
Now,
do you
this
want to
could
answer this
be-
one first, or do you want me to answer? Because I feel like I've been answering first.
That's fine. I can go first. This could be either shooting on set or content.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get jealous.
Never ever.
No.
Not that I feel like you should.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm
I'm
asking.
asking never ever.
It's never crossed my mind because it's a comfortability thing with me for one. It has everything to do with you but nothing to do with you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If I were jealous, then I don't know how I would handle it. I don't think this relationship would have gone as far as it has,
Mm-hmm.
or go even further. It is just if I wasn't in the adult industry and watching you be passionate with somebody else, be rough with somebody else, or whatever the scene called for, then yes, I would be extremely jealous, because then I would be in my head, well, why don't you do that with me? Are you thinking about me when you're with that person, or then when we're having sex? Are you thinking about this other person now? And none of that has anything to do with any of the business. At least for us. I can't speak for anyone else. But no, I don't, because I know where your heart is.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't just say it, you show it. And I see it every day. I see it multiple times a day. Even when I'm not with you, you're texting me. You've been gone for 2 minutes, and my life is about to end. I'm like, oh my god, I'm still in the garage. Calm down, type of thing. But I'm not the only one that sees that. Everyone who's around us sees it, and they see the love that we have for each other. So for me to get jealous, absolutely not. I think jealousy is the killer of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just talk to you and be like, this is how I'm feeling. Or if it's somebody that I'm uncomfortable with you shooting with, I would say something. But then I'm also not trying to mess up your money either. So, which
You don't have to say a name.
No,
Who would make you uncomfortable, or why would someone make
it's never come across.
Okay.
So I've never had to say. Well, there's the one person, but we already know who that person is.
And neither one of us would.
Yes, and neither one of us will work with this, but with that particular person. So it's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a really good head on your shoulders. You know who you can work with and who you can't work with, and there's a lot of people in this industry that I still don't know, and there's a lot of people in this industry that I'm still curious to work with. Whether they want to work with me or not, that's another that's a whole nother level. But there's a lot of people that I would love to work with in this industry. And when I say work with, it's not just to have sex with this particular person. It could be a non-sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did a scene with Dante Cole. It was a non-sex scene. We were the two extras in the scene. And it was a great scene. Nice guy. It was very pleasant. When we broke, I think he was really tired from his other shooting activity. So he laid down, had himself some quiet time, and I let him be alone. I didn't want to bother him, like, oh my god, you're Dante Cole. Can I have your autograph? I didn't want to be that person. It's like, be fucking professional. There's a couple of other people that I've had opportunity to work with, but I will never work with them on set, just because just the nature of our business. We don't play in the same yard, if you know what I mean. But they're lovely people. One of them we work out with this particular person and seen him on set. Very nice person. It's just that our worlds will never cross.
Right.
And our professional worlds will never cross in that aspect.
Right.
Which is fine, which is completely fine by me. But yeah, do I get jealous? No. When it comes to shooting content, do I get jealous? No. Because it's the same aspect. I know who it is. We have I don't want to say strict rules, when we shoot content, but we have basically studio standards. We need to see a test. Um, if you're doing if you're coming to the city or we're in a city near you, this sounds popular. But we there are things that we look for the individual person to make sure that for one we are safe, and that we can continue to work after, and we make sure we get tested and all that stuff too. So no, jealousy it's never a thing for me. What about, okay, so back to you.
I'm glad that it's never a thing for you, and I feel like I draw strength from that because I feel like you've never really expressed any kind of jealousy or discomfort, and so that's part of what helps me when I have my moments. I would say I don't have my moments very often, but I have had moments where I might get a little bit jealous, feeling a little bit jealous. Okay, for studio work, generally no, because I know what that is. Everyone's going in there to make a paycheck. We're going in there and we're trying to get in, work efficiently, get your paycheck, and get out. There may be moments when there is pleasure, but it's not necessarily for the pleasure of it. You're there for a paycheck. For content, the lines get a little bit blurred sometimes. For content, you're not getting a check right away, so you kind of want to enjoy yourself in addition to making something beautiful that you can sell and make money off of. I feel like it's a little bit more personal when you film content because there's less people involved. It may just be the two of you and a tripod or a couple tripods. There may not even be a camera person. So it's definitely a little bit more intimate. And there have been occasions where I started to feel a little something, and I had to have a conversation with myself and say, why are you feeling this way? What are you worried about? And then I come to the conclusion that I don't have anything to worry about. That we have a great relationship. We have a good understanding between each other. I trust him. He trusts me. We have open lines of communication. So there's nothing really to worry about. I realize that it's just an irrational fear. And then I'm able to just chop it off and move on with my day. And honestly, I take strength in that. I find that empowering that I'm able to do it. I used to be a whole lot worse. So for me to get to be at this point where I can feel it, fix it, and move on is huge for me. But I think I'm definitely more excited about experiences that we can share together. If it's an experience that we're sharing together, I'm like all for it. Like I enjoy watching you experience pleasure. I enjoy watching you with other people. I'm happy to be in the room, to be part of the experience. It's when I'm not allowed to be in the room when I start to get a little bit nervous. I'm like, well, I want to be part of this too.
Okay, so
and then I have to realize, well, it's not for me right now.
Yes.
This is not my time. And the thing is, I said this once not too long ago, and I believe this. I don't want our marriage to feel like a prison. I think you get to a point where you realize that most of the time sex is just sex. You can have sex with someone and then you're done. You can move right on with your day. Like there isn't necessarily a connection there or a need or a feeling for there to be more. It's just, you're just sharing this physical experience with each other. And it may be really nice, but you can walk away from it and go back home to your husband. And that's not a problem. So, it's something that I wouldn't say it never happens for me, but I'm very in control of it.
Yeah, okay, so let's rewind this for a second. When we were talking about shooting content, he said where he's not allowed to be in the room or with things. So we had this conversation. When it's shooting content, I feel very weird with him being in the house or wherever the content is being shot.
If I'm not participating.
Yes, if you're not participating.
If it's not just like a threesome or something.
If it's just me and whoever the other person is. For me, and I told him this, it's weird because I don't want him to get jealous of a sound that may come out of my mouth, or my reaction to the way somebody else is touching me or kissing me or whatever the situation may be. And it's, for me, it makes me uncomfortable. Because if I look up and he's there and he's making some weird face, now I'm in my head. What's going on? Is he comfortable with this? Is he okay with this? Well, he said he was okay with it, but was he lying just to satisfy me? So if we shoot content in the house, or if I gotta go somewhere, I'm like, I'm gonna go shoot content with so and so. I will be back. Or so and so's coming over to shoot content. Could you leave? Type of thing. And it has nothing to do with. Well, it has a lot to do with him. It's just I don't want him to feel jealous. I don't want that jealousy to be there. So if I'm not making the same sounds or reacting the same way with him, is he going to be in his head? Because I know for me, if this was me 5 years ago, I would be. I would be in my head being like, oh, you can make those noises with this person, but not with me. Or you can touch this person that way, but you don't touch me that way. So those are the type of things that I need to get over. Because he's told me multiple times how much pleasure he gets out of watching me have pleasure. It's just if you're not part of it, it makes it awkward. There was even a time on set where he was PA and I was performing. I couldn't look at him. Because it completely took me out of the mood that I was in. The scene was amazing, but when I looked over and I saw him, every question and every negative thought in my head possibly went through. I don't want to say it on camera.
Was it recent?
It was not recent. This was a while. This is where this all came up.
Okay.
And it's one of those, I don't want to. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I don't want to go through that. But there have been multiple times since then where you've been on set and I still have to kind of put up, this is my job, that is his job. Your job is to be on set to make sure that everything is going right. My job is to be on set and to perform in front of the camera and to make sure that those two lines don't cross. When we get into those situations, I don't think I've ever PA'd for you. And you've done it for me twice.
I can't recall a time. No, maybe not.
Yeah, but I have to keep myself in a space, because if I get out of the space that I'm in, it's hard for me to get back into that. And I think that's true for any couples that work together. There is the love relationship, but then there's also that work relationship. There has to be a line. That this is my job. This is my job. If I'm PAing today, and you're filming, it's Dylan. What can I get for you? Not baby. Not hey, my love. That's not for me. It's not professional. If we're both PAing, I don't care. But if you're working in front of the camera and I'm behind the camera, it is a professional relationship at that particular point. Once you're done, we can go back to normal. Same, vice versa, and I try to keep it that way as much as possible, so we stay in those elements. I think you do a hell of a lot better at this than I do. Then because once the director says action, you're in it.
I'm in it.
I am completely in my head the entire day. But circling back, I don't get jealous when I see you with someone. If I see it, even if I see it online, like the previews and your videos and stuff, I'll retweet them.
Oh, I retweet those too.
Yeah, none of those, but I don't watch my own scenes.
I watch mine and I watch yours and I retweet them. Yeah. I'm happy to promote.
I do the promotion all the time. Yeah. It's just I don't get jealous of it. I'm like, I might look at it, but oh, that's hot. Yeah. All right, I may want to try that, but it's never a jealousy thing.
So when we're in the situation where we're on set together and I'm PAing for you and you're performing, I try to knowing that you can get uncomfortable. Well, first of all, like when the director asks, when someone asks me if I could PA for this scene and he happens to be in it, I'll say I need to speak to my husband first to see if he's going to be comfortable with it, because the last thing that I want to do is be on set and knock him off his game and make him not be able to perform because I'm there. So first I ask him if it's okay for me to be there, and then if he says it's okay for me to be there, I still kind of try and sit in the background to come out of, like, not to be in plain view. Like, I need to be close and available to help with whatever needs help, what I need to help with, anything that needs to be helped with. But I try not to be like right up in his line of view, right? Because I don't want to knock him off his game, knowing that makes you uncomfortable. But I have told you that I totally accept that, you know, different people are going to touch you in a different way that I do. You're going to feel things differently with everybody that you're with. I don't feel insecure about that. Like I accept that, you know, this guy may have a bigger dick than I do, and he can reach things that I can't reach. I accept that he may have a different rhythm than I do, and he might be able to make you feel things that I don't. I'm not insecure about that.
I know you're not.
I actually kind of enjoy watching it. I enjoy knowing that you're having
there's
that
no
pleasure.
kinda about it. You enjoy it.
I enjoy knowing that you're having that pleasure. I think I don't enjoy it when I'm not allowed to be part of it. But I also accept that I'm not meant to be part of every experience that you have, and that I need to let you go and do what you're going to do and just be okay with it. And again, sometimes I have to have a conversation with myself, but I'm always able to get over it and be like, all right, I'm fine now. Let's go. What's next? You know? So yeah, does that answer the question?
I think it does. Twice. Because it's almost, it is weird. I think what we do for a living, there aren't a lot of people that can handle it. But not only handle what we do for a living, but also doing the content part of it also, because that's part of this lifestyle. And to maintain, I don't want to use the word popularity, because I've never liked the word popularity or popular, but to maintain a working status in this business, you have to keep your game up.
I think that we have
your P's and Q's.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have. I'd like to think that we have proven to, you know, our colleagues, our superiors, that we are okay. That, you know, because we're, you know, that even though we're married, that we're still fine with working and with other people. It's not an issue for us, you know. Like I still get booked.
We both
get booked. We get booked together. We get booked apart. We get booked to where he's the performer and I'm PAing for him. Like, so I feel like we've established that we are okay with what we do for a living. We're okay with our partner, our significant other, our, you know, being with other people. And I that's another thing that I'm proud of, because like you said, there aren't a lot of people who could do this, and it's very liberating. It's very empowering, and it feels good that we're able to do something so freeing, you know. Like, I feel like the traditional idea of marriage, don't want to get people cussing me out now, but I feel like we're modern, we're two men, and we make our own rules. And I feel like a lot of marriages create these unrealistic expectations that you will never be attracted to anyone else but me. You're never ever gonna have sex with anyone else ever again but me. I'm it. I think that's unfair, and I think it's unrealistic. You know, I'd rather us figure out how to work that into our relationship so that we stay happy and healthy, as opposed to, you know, being trapped and miserable. You know what I mean? Or doing the other thing, which would be like lying and sneaking around.
Okay, that part I agree with.
Like, I'd rather us have a conversation about it. Like, tell me. I could accept, if as long as we have an open and honest conversation about things, there's a lot that I could accept, you know? I think for me, like, I just need to know that there isn't something that's lacking in our relationship, that there isn't the attraction into our mutual attraction to each other isn't lacking. I need to know that, you know, we're strong, and then I can handle anything else.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue at all. I think our relationship is it is solid. Lacking, I would never say that we are lacking in anything. Areas of improvement, I don't know yet. That's that's why I said I don't know yet. There may be a time where we cross that line. Like, here's what I like now, or what I don't like, and the same could go for you. It's just we haven't experienced that yet. We're still new in this relationship, and we've been together. We've met in 2019. It's 2023 now. We've been married 2 months, going on 3 months. So things are still new. Like, the foundation is there. Now we're building on top of that. But will this foundation shake? Will this foundation get a crack in it? And if so, what do we do at that point? That's where I believe our true strength is going to show. And how we handle those days. How do we handle those rainy days? How do we handle those days where it's not raining anymore? We're in a monsoon.
Again, I think that just comes back to communication.
Yeah, it does. It truly does come. But sometimes communication won't fix everything. Sometimes it's actions need to be taken. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying actions in a bad way. But just sometimes I can't tell you what needs to be done. It just needs to be done. Just go and get it done, type of thing. Actions versus talking, if that makes sense. Okay. That was a long one.